And how was it working with Hailee Steinfeld during this whole process? Because she's also a producer of the show. So how was it?
It was wonderful, very collaborative and really fun. People often ask me what her favorite look is for the show, and I always joke that I think it was the robe because she didn't have to wear a corset for that look.
Hate it when I'm gone.
You mean when you're dead?
Dude, no, I mean like when I'm in the other room.
Oh.
I do not approve of a woman seeking to build herself a literary reputation, Emily.
I am a poet. And there is nothing you can do to stop me.
First of all, congratulations on the show. The costume design of it, it's perfect. So beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. It's so nice to.
Oh, you're welcome. I can imagine that it must be really hard to create a century costume design because you have to base on a lot of history information. So please tell me, walk me through the process of creating the costumes of the show.
It's not a very linear process, right? Like you've got the research, and then you've got the shapes, and then you've got the materials, and then I get vintage buttons and vintage real buttons and trims from the period, and those are coming in, and then somehow everything kind of comes together, and I do a little doodle, little sketch of what I want the dress, just say it's a dress for this purposes, to look like. Let's say it's like, let's go, like talk about the gold dress on Sue, right? We wanted it to be gold. It's scripted to be gold. I find a really great shape that I really love. We get all the underwear because that's very specific. You have to start with the specific shape, the support for the clothes. And then everyone was swatching gold fabrics from all over, and nothing was speaking to me. Nothing felt right. And people were getting very nervous because we were getting closer and closer to shooting. And it takes many days to make these dresses. I didn't have a fabric yet, but finally this amazing French lame walked in the door, and I paired it with an antique real metal lace, and we made it into this shape. Once it's sort of roughly put together, we have a fitting with the actor, so we can tweak it. It's difficult to make these shapes. They're sort of like painted on to the bodies, and to get that sort of three-dimensional thing right, it takes a fitting or maybe two, and then they're finished up and we shoot them. And I remember that first day we went in there and shot the scene. I think it was the first time we saw the dresses in the room with Emily, and it was just like dimly lit, but the light was just bouncing off of the metal in the dress, and it was just kind of amazing, and it all came together. So that's the process. That's a long answer to the question.
Oh, that's great. I loved it. And as you were saying, I was thinking about how precious each and every piece from the show are. Because as it is a century TV show, it would be nice to have maybe a museum with all the costumes. Do you think that maybe this could be on the horizon?
Oh, I don't know. I think they do exhibits sometimes of the clothes, which would be really fun. And I'm so flattered that you think that they're museum worthy. That would be amazing. And it's just the other day, my husband sent me this link to this something online where someone very carefully went through and chose a little picture of each of the dresses from the entire season and put them all together. And it was amazing to see everything together from the whole season. And you're right, they are really precious. I mean, I give a little bit of my soul to each of these looks, and it was really satisfying to see them all together. So I would welcome. Be great.
Let's hope so, right? And so we can see that in the show, the costumes are an extension of each and every character's personality. Yep. Please tell me a little bit how you worked with the script to create the pieces in a way that would resemble their personalities on screen.
Yeah, sure. So I'm always trying to make character-driven choices for everybody, right? With Emily, for example, we typically go a little more clean lines with her. Her shapes are sort of strong and simple. They're not fussy generally. I really rely on like beautiful fabrics for her that are just sort of simply made. I don't mean just like cleanly made, but relying on the fabric. But then there's Lavinia. Like this season, Lavinia went down this sort of like kooky path of like sort of becoming an artist. And she started off a little more like, you know, the Lavinia we know. And then by the end, she was wearing these like crazy giant floral dresses and you know, flowers in her hair. And she vaguely resembled Frida Kahlo. And I'm always thinking about the characters and collaborating with the actors, truly. Anna specifically and I collaborated a lot this season because she had all this crazy stuff like the spider dance, which was sort of really out there, and we called it the sexy pilgrim, which was the Scarlet Letter role playing that they did. So I'm definitely always trying to distill what parts of the period suit each character, and then like throwing them on, and sometimes even like hyper pushing it even farther than.
That's nice. That's great. And as you said, you usually work with the actors. And how was it working with Hailee Steinfeld during this whole process? Because she's also a producer of the show. So how was it?
It was wonderful, very collaborative and really fun. You know, we talked all the time through all the different, you know, for example, that robe. People often ask me what her favorite look is for the show. And I always joke that I think it was the robe because she didn't have to wear a corset for that look. But I had like 4, I think, different plaids that I was looking at for that robe. And I really couldn't decide, right? So I just said, which one? And immediately she said that one. That's the one that feels right, you know? And so sometimes it's great because I don't have to, when I got decision fatigue, because I'm deciding every trim, every button, every piece of lace, sometimes it's nice to have the actors to help me make those decisions. So she was wonderful. Really, I can't say enough about how wonderful she is to work with.
Fame's kind of like death.
What's up, girl?
Part of me is pretty sure that fame isn't good for me. In fact, I think it could be very dangerous.
Welcome to the dark side.
Whoa, what? It's like your brain is on fire.